Good afternoon to all our listeners and viewers of the NDC Heartbeat podcast. We want to welcome those who are listening on radio via WeFM, Vibes FM, Spice Capital Radio, 100.5 FM out of Labbe in Grenville. We have Ride Along out of Brooklyn, New York. And of course, we have the NDC Heartbeat online platform. For today's program, what we're going to be doing is to share with you the recent launch of a new episode entitled Fireside Chat. And the host is no other person than the Honorable Deacon Mitchell. The first episode was launched on a Thursday, the 6th of February at the Radisson Conference Room amidst hundreds of young students and several other individuals. Now, this new episode entitled Fireside Chat by host Honorable Deacon Mitchell had as his first guest Mr. Aliko Dangote from Nigeria, a highly respected industrialist, developer, business executive, philanthropist, among other achievements and, of course, accomplishments. Mr. Dangote is also one of the world's wealthiest black person, and he has graciously accepted Prime Minister's invitation to be our most honored guest as we celebrated our 51st anniversary of independence. We would also share with you excerpts of our 51st anniversary of independence, which included a special address to the nation by our honored guest, Mr. Aliko Dangote. We will then close today's episode with the address to the nation by the Honorable Deacon Mitchell, Prime Minister of Grenada, on the occasion of our 51st anniversary of independence. That's your program for today. And just to let you know that this new episode of Fireside Chat has truly stimulated the minds of several or probably all onlookers during the launch period. And it is expected to be a sought after program to listen to in the future. We will all stay tuned to hear more of episode 2. So, stay tuned. That's your program for today. Please enjoy.
Accelerating a transformed NDC. The NDC will hold its annual convention on March 2nd, 2025, under the theme Accelerating a Transformed NDC at the Happy Hill Secondary School, and this will be followed by a rally at the Bushaju playing field. Come out and be inspired by our specially invited guests and our awesome political leader, Deacon Mitchell. It's going to be epic. Gather your family and friends and come out to the Bushaju playing field from 5 p.m. on March 2nd, 2025. Grenada is great, and there is greatness in every Grenadian.
Grenadians in South Florida will celebrate the 51st anniversary of independence with a sumptuous brunch at the Holy Family Episcopal Church Hall in Miami Gardens on February 16, 2025. Come enjoy a large variety of Grenadian cuisine cooked by our very own chefs. Fish cake, fried fish, cuckoo, roast baked saltfish sauce, tanya logs, chupo, roti, pig feet sauce, curry goat, and lots more delicious dishes. So get your tickets now for only $30 from any member of the NDC Florida chapter. Let's celebrate together on February 16th. Holy Family Episcopal Church Hall in Miami Gardens, starting at 1:30 p.m. You would also have a chance to win prizes in one of our many raffles, along with games and other forms of entertainment for your enjoyment. So come celebrate Grenada's 51st independence at our massive brunch on February 16th. Music by DJ Chris. See you there. For more information, call 757-419-0581 or 754-423-7841 or 203-984-8738.
Get ready for a taste of the islands right here in Brooklyn. Join us for the NDC New York chapter's Independence Food Fest fundraiser on Saturday, February 15th from 12 noon to 7 p.m. at 1215 Flatbush Avenue. Bring the whole family and indulge in oil down and traditional Caribou style saraka that will transport your taste buds straight to the Caribbean. Enjoy these mouth-watering dishes in our vibrant atmosphere that celebrates our culture and communities. Music by New York's #1 DJ Wondra. Meals are just $25 with drinks and other goodies on sale. It's an afternoon filled with food, fun, and festivities, all for a great cause. For more information, call us at 347-729-5770, 347-279-6668, or 973-462-0596. You can also visit our website at ndcnewyorkchapter.com. Don't miss out on this unforgettable celebration. Mark your calendars for Saturday, February 15th, and join us for an incredible day of food, music, and community spirit.
Join us for a powerful gathering of women leading change. The NDC Women's Arm invites you to an important general meeting at Bonnet Government School, Bonnet, St. Mark's on Sunday the 16th February at 3:30 p.m. This is your chance to be part of the transformational conversation as we shape the future of Grenada together. We are honored to welcome Prime Minister, the Honorable Deacon Mitchell, who will share his vision for Grenada and the key initiatives he wants women to champion. Accompanied by government ministers who will provide valuable insights in the progress happening in our communities and how we as women can take the lead in driving impactful change. Your voice matters. Your leadership is needed. Let's come together, strengthen our collective power, and make a difference. Don't miss this opportunity to be part of history in the making. See you there.
Now, it gives me great pleasure to start with the introduction of our first speaker and our host. The story of our Grenada's 9th Prime Minister is one of success, forged from hard work, determination, and a deep desire for betterment. His service to Grenada as a teacher at his alma mater, the Presentation Brothers College, allowed him to appreciate the full spectrum of the educational experience in Grenada and cemented his desire to do more by advocating for the educational advancement of all Grenadians. Our Prime Minister is also a businessman. After completing Hugh Wooding Law School, his commitment to serve Grenada brought him straight home, where he commenced his law practice at Grant, Joseph & Co., and immediately distinguished himself as a formidable lawyer, representing many individuals and business entities. 3 years later, he would acquire Grant, Joseph & Co. In 2016, he opened another law firm, Mitchell & Co., a maneuver strongly influenced by his vision to create more employment for young and upcoming lawyers. His ambitions have always been tethered to his desire to give back, and as such, he has never divorced himself from the community. His collective experiences as a teacher, mentor, lawyer, and youth advocate shaped his experience and also his commitment to Grenada, motivating his decision to enter the political arena. Ladies and gentlemen, your host for today's Fireside Chat, Prime Minister the Honorable Deacon Mitchell. Now for our feature speaker. In the bustling city of Kano, Nigeria, a young man with a burning ambition set out on a journey that would redefine business in Africa. From an early age, Dangote had an instinct for business. While most saw trade as a simple transaction, he saw it as a stepping stone to something far greater. In 1978, armed with an entrepreneurial spirit and a degree from Al-Azhar University in Cairo, Egypt, he started small, trading rice, sugar, and cement. But young Dangote wasn't just another merchant. He was a man with a vision to build, not just buy and sell. These seeds he planted in those early years grew into Dangote Industries Limited, a conglomerate that would become West Africa's largest and most influential business empire. Today, The Dangote Group spans 17 African countries, and its cement subsidiary, Dangote Cement PLC, dominates the industry with an annual production capacity of 55 million tons. More than just a company, it became the first Nigerian business to join the Forbes Global 2000 companies list, a testament to its global impact. Let's welcome to the stage, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Aliko Dangote.
Good morning, Aliko, and thank you very much for agreeing to grace us with your presence here in Grenada. I know this is your first time to Grenada, but not your first time to the Caribbean. And so I really want to express, first of all, our profound appreciation for you taking the time to be part of the launch of this, our Fireside Chat, particularly as Grenada, a young nation, marks its 51st anniversary of independence. We are truly delighted to have you here. We have in the room with us policymakers, the Cabinet of Grenada, members of the Diplomatic Corps, senior government officials, businessmen and women, entrepreneurs, and my favorite group of people, school children. And so we are delighted that you've agreed to join us on this Fireside Chat. I have never done a Fireside Chat before, where I'm attempting to ask questions, so I hope I manage. And after our interaction, we will allow the audience to ask some questions of you. So welcome again. I want to start by indicating the moderator has given us an extensive summary of your success as an entrepreneur, industrialist, businessman. My question to you is, when you look back, did you ever envisage that you would become this successful?
Well, thank you very much, Honorable Prime Minister. It's great being here. It's a long journey, almost 9.5 hours from Nigeria. But it's great to be here and meeting great people. Your question is, have I ever envisaged to be where I am now? Even last week, I think a media guy asked me this question that, okay, fine, did you ever dream of being where you are at the moment? And I said that no, I've never really dreamt of being 1% of where I am today. So, I mean, really, we've had great challenges, and but we've also, we've done very well.
Okay. So, as you look back, where did it all begin?
As I look back, well, it all began at 1978 when I first left school, and I decided that okay, fine, maybe I should do something. I started serving with my late grandfather, and then later on I decided to move to Lagos that same year. When I moved to Lagos, I started trading just in cement. I said I don't want to work for anybody. So by trading, it was during the scarcity of cement, and then there was so much projects, because the government, found quite a lot of money, oil money, doing reconstruction, and also rolled out a lot of projects. But we were importing all the cement, and I wasn't importing. I was just buying from an uncle of mine, trading. Then my grandfather said, okay, fine, well, let me help you. I give you 500,000, to add to your capital. 500,000 then was about 500,000 pounds, because the Naira pounds was about the same rate at that time. Then after about 3 months, I realized that, well, I didn't really need that much money, so I returned his money back to, to him. To tell you the worthiness of the worth of naira at that time. My first Mercedes that I bought, 200, was 5,100 naira that I bought. But then the cement trading was actually giving us between 6 and 7 thousand. Every day I was making that much. So it means that every day I was making much more than a Mercedes Benz, And so with that really, I was able to follow the discipline of my late grandfather, being a very disciplined person, doesn't just waste money and, keeping a very low profile. And, with that, then I decided that, I'm now making it. I started giving myself a target. I remember I said that, no, this year, 1978, I'm going to be a millionaire, and I really wanted to do that. And, I made it. So after a while, now in the 80s, in 1980, that was my first time of importation. And I imported sugar from, I'm just giving you short, So with importation of sugar now, that actually opened up my, eyes. But at that time, everything was controlled by government. You can only import when you have a license. So, we started importing, a bit restricted, but, we're getting licenses. Sometimes we get the license from a third party. Sometimes, we get it directly, and that is how we now became very big in food, especially frozen fish, rice, sugar. And, since then, we, escalated the business. The business was quite, promising. We traded for almost about 20 years, just trading. We tried a bit of textiles, but unfortunately, the Chinese smuggling, dumping, and whatever actually made us to close down that business of textile in 1996. So we tried quite a lot. We tried banking. We also, we opened up a bank called Liberty Merchant Bank. We had a dream of a very big bank. At that time, I think the capital was about 4 million. We started with 30 million naira capital in 1990. But, at the end of the day, we got out of banking because banking, we realized that you need to be there as a person. Banks are much better in Nigeria at that time if it's sort of owner-managed bank than just an entrepreneur setting up a bank and asking people to now go and run the bank. We did very well, but then we sold out that business. Then we now say, okay, fine, look, we have now, created a very big trading group, but trading doesn't really make much money. You make very fast money, but it doesn't have a great future, because with trading, you can actually decide that, hey, look, I don't want to do it again today. Then you shut down your office and you can sack everybody. Now we say, okay, fine, let's just get into manufacturing. And I remember that time there was a farm called, Arthur Anderson. So it was Arthur Anderson that that is what now they broke down into two, KPMG and another, firm. And then we say, okay, can you please come and talk to us about getting into industry? Because getting into industry, we realized that a lot of people, they have actually tried industrialization and they failed. That's people much, much before us. You won't know their name, but, these are the Oditolas, the Adeboales, and they tried. And most of them, they failed, not because of their own fault, but mainly because of government policies, because, so we called in this firm, had a retreat in a hotel called Sheraton, just by the airport in Lagos. And what came out of that 2 days retreat was that, first of all, we said that Nigeria, was sort of like a scratch card. You don't really see the goodness of it unless you get in there. So we decided that, okay, so what are the reasons why those previous entrepreneurs failed to excel. There are two reasons, mainly two reasons. One is to do with inconsistencies in government policies. The other one is about power, electricity. We don't have, it wasn't really much, available. Because of the cost of energy, it might not make you competitive. The third one is to do with our own banking that are not very, very strong at that time, because the capital was low, So what I'm trying to address here is to see, okay, fine, for a nation, you need very strong banking system, and local banks, because international banks might not really help address your issues. So we now say, okay, fine, so how do we address the two main issues, which is lack of power and then inconsistencies with, with government policies. Inconsistencies with government policies is for you to keep close to government and keep telling them what is right, what is not right, showing them that, look, this business is actually, a business for everybody. Business for everybody, meaning that when you invest, the largest shareholder of your business is government. You're actually at the back seat. Because if you look at, we have a company that has matured now, for example, like our cement business. 52% of our turnover goes to the government in terms of different taxes. So when you have that, we cannot even take money out of the company unless when we declare dividend, we have to pay 10% withholding tax. Everybody, all the shareholders, everybody has to pay individually 10% withholding tax, then you collect money out of the business. So that's why I say government, they are the largest shareholders. The second one is to do with electricity. And we say, okay, fine, so how do we address that? And the only way to address that, now we decided all our businesses, we will generate our own power. And that's why today, if you look at it as a group, we are generating our own power, self-consumed power, 1,540 megawatts. So that's what we, generate as a group.
I want to interrupt here just to give some scale. The total amount of power being generated by Grenada is, I see the chairman of the power company here, 50 megawatts. 50 for the entire island. So your businesses generate 1,000 times more power than the entire island.
That's
so
true.
I just wanted to give some perspective.
Well, that's true. So we decided to do that, and that's why wherever we have business, the only places that we don't have there are two. One is South Africa. At the time that we were doing, they had power. The power was very, very efficient. And then Ethiopia. Ethiopia, we actually, we are not connected. We did not invest, because it is a different thing for you now to go into industrialization. You now buy equipment to generate power, because that's a different investment. Because when you are a manufacturer, you shouldn't be involved in generation of your power. This is supposed to be provided by the state when they provide, or any other private sector, so that you consume and you pay. So you don't really get involved with this. So we decided to do that, and we're able now to grow the business. And then we say, okay, fine, now that we've grown this business, how do we now go outside Nigeria to the other part of Africa? And I know that our first factory outside Nigeria was Senegal. So we started with Senegal, then we expanded to other countries, which now we happen to be almost in about 12 countries, doing cement only. The rest of the business we are not doing outside Nigeria. They are all in Nigeria in terms of industrialization. You want me to go on?
Well, let me ask this. I note that you said you did not want to work for anybody.
Yes.
What led to you having that that inspiration of wanting to not work for it?
I think generally, and I think Professor Rama can confirm that generally Nigerians are entrepreneurs by nature. And you hardly find people who just want to remain as professionals, and nobody wants to work for anybody. So like right now, I have a brother, somebody was actually asking me about where he was. I said, no, we're traveling together, but they will just drop me in Grenada, and then they will take him to, Florida, to Miami. He said, okay, but I thought, are you doing the same business? I said that no. But he was working for me initially. He started with our transport. He was my transport manager. So, and then later on he decided that no, he wants to be on his own. So really, we don't have there's not any hard feelings if you have even your own child that say that no, he wants to go and try on his own. You encourage him. Let him now go and try. So that's why really when you look at it, majority of the entrepreneurs we have in Africa, they're in Nigeria. Everybody is an entrepreneur. You just want to go and try your own luck.
So the culture has bred a spirit of entrepreneurship.
Yes, it is. It's based on entrepreneurship. I mean, in our family, I don't think if I know many of them that actually work for the family. Very few. Everybody wants to go and try his own luck.
Right. So, Nigeria has in excess of 200 million people. It has a large oil, gas-based economy. Grenada is a tiny country. The numbers always seem to vary, 100, 110, 120,000 people. Despite the size difference, and despite Grenada's economy is largely services driven, particularly tourism, despite those differences, are there common themes or common characteristics you think are essential for one to be a successful entrepreneur, regardless of the size of the country or the market or the type of economy that the country has?
I think really the size doesn't matter. It's not something that should discourage you from having an ambition, and I think, you can go and look at it and say, okay, fine, how do I do something big with something small? Or how do I even create something big with nothing? You go back and look at history, go and look at countries like, Singapore. They've created something huge out of nothing.
So size
doesn't matter, yes. And I believe Grenada can actually become very big. It can become, a very huge place. I mean, you look at it now, for example, in the 80s, where was Emirates? In fact, Emirates started with a lease of 3 aircrafts from Pakistan International, PIA.
Yes.
So where is PIA today? Where is, Emirates? So I think size doesn't really matter, but you have to be very, very creative. You have to be very, very creative, and I think really Grenada should be very, very creative. You need to open up and do more sort of tourism, IT. You can also have what you call like, duty-free stuff. You can now have, like other countries where they are doing, you now go and you either do ships, where now people can come and register here, and you make it like a tax-free zone. Because taxing, how much are you going to get? But when you have people coming now to invest, they will create a lot of jobs, and that's what you want, so that they will create what you call disposable income for the society. I mean, if you open up, for example, now, when you remember, I was even telling you in the car, I think it was at the hotel, saying that a country like Grenada, you should not even ask for visas. If you want to protect yourself because of security, then you do few things and say, okay, fine, do like what Saudi Arabia did. Saudi Arabia used to be the tightest country when it comes to allowing people into their country. What do they do? Simple. You know, they say, okay, fine, you know, anybody who has visa to UK, has visa to US, has visa to Canada, has visa to, you know, Europe, that's Schengen, has visa to UK, anybody that has either the passport or the visa should come in and get his visa on arrival.
So
today, as we speak, the hotel that I used to pay $300 in Riyadh because of congestion of people is costing over $1,000. What will that do? It will open up massive construction all over the place. It will create jobs for your people. The industry will become much, much bigger and larger. Today, you know, you can also have your own airline. You look at simple, even in Africa, you look at now Ethiopia, for example. You know, Ethiopia just built an airport with a capacity of 20 million. Last year, that airport, right, handled 29 million passengers. So you have to actually open up. If you open up, your own people, okay, you will now say, okay, fine, you don't have many people. But the same thing, United Arab Emirates, the real locals were not up to 1 million before. But you can see now they have opened up, they are even giving 10 years visa. Now a house in Dubai costs more than in UK. Okay, because the land is nothing there, you know, it's a desert. Even while there is no land, they go and do sand filling, take sand from the sea and do that. You can do the same thing here, nothing stops you. So if you do that, you remove all these visas, you make it very simple. Somebody who wants to come and open a tax-free office, he's welcome to come and, you know, do that. So you welcome people. The security is not really an issue. If you are scared, go ahead and say, okay, fine. If you have visa or passport of these certain countries, fine. You say, okay, fine. Anybody coming, for example, you know, I mean, you're of African descent. Anybody coming from Africa should come and get visa on arrival. If you do that, I can tell you, you have to ask for help. Your own population will not be able to cope with that. Everybody will have a job. Then when everybody has a job, now you will become the story to tell. Once you become the story, people want to now come and, you know, invest. And like what I said, that look, it is impossible for all your neighbors to have oil and you don't have. So you have a lot of it. It's just that you have not actually have people who will go and prospect for that oil. If you do that, then, you know, oil should be even taken as a secondary. I don't want you to focus on having oil because sometimes oil can give you a very bad this thing. You know, when you have oil, you will become lazy. Everybody will become lazy. So even when you have the oil, take it as a icing on the cake. But look for agriculture. Apart from agriculture, you should also look for banking. Banking will actually help in terms of helping your own locals to establish this. And I was so happy when you said that, yes, Afrexim Bank actually, you know, trying to see how they can help your entrepreneurs. Because your own entrepreneurs, the international banks, whether it's from Canada or US, they will not understand their story. They can tell them this story between today up to tomorrow, no. But when you have something like Afrexim Bank, it's like a local domestic bank. They will understand the story, they will know that, okay, fine, this is possible, this has been tried in Nigeria or somewhere, think and roll.
So I wanted, therefore, I'm happy that you segued into the role of Afrexim Bank, and I will have President Orama, I almost said President Obama. I'll have President Orama address us a little later on when we conclude the proceedings. But I want to speak a little bit about the example that Africa and the Caribbean can learn from each other from the point of view of entrepreneurship and closer economic ties. You talked about the fact that it took 9.5 hours for you to fly directly from Lagos to Grenada. It takes about 8 to 9 hours for us to fly to London. And when I visited in Nigeria, I had to fly to London, 8 to 9 hours. a shorter trek, but extensive enough to Africa.
That's true.
So it takes the entire day if we go through London or if we go through the US. And yet there is no direct travel between Africa and the Caribbean. Our trade between Africa and the Caribbean is about 1% of total trade between the two of us. From your perspective, what can the Caribbean do, islands like Grenada, to encourage greater trade, greater exchanges, and greater economic cooperation between Africa and the Caribbean?
I think what we need to do first is to make sure that we have this air link first, and removal of the visa requirements. Once you do that, then there will be quite a lot of people that will actually come. Some will just come here on holidays, and then they will find out that, hey, look, there are a lot of other opportunities. And if we can now try and link ourselves together and be doing a lot of trade, I'm sure even most things that you have here, because I've been to Barbados, I've been to Bahamas, and I realized that, look, most of the things that, people are selling is at the highest price. The price is a little bit high, it's pricey, so I think you need to look at us, export from here to Africa, Africa to here. That can actually help to develop your own, this. You are talking about 50 megawatts of power that you have. Some of the Nigerian entrepreneurs, when they come here, they know how much you are ready to pay. They will put up 500, megawatts. Okay, there might not be demand of 500 megawatts, but if the power is available, somebody will now come and open a factory here, create jobs, and be exporting. And that's what you need to do, as a nation. You just don't depend on what you have. Okay, you open it up, and okay, let me give you an example. How many people do you think that they've applied for even visa or so? They are not able to go to the US. Even if they are going to the US, it is so expensive for them. But if there's that air link, somebody will say, okay, yes, I'm going to Grenada or I'm going to one of the islands. So from here, you go to either Bahamas or go somewhere. You have the same weather. You don't go into this harsh weather. And you enjoy yourselves. I mean, somebody asked me, why do you like going to Miami? I like going to Miami because Miami has about the same weather with Nigeria. And that's the reason why I go there. I used to go to New York or Atlanta, but I don't like very, very cold weather, if I'm there on vacation.
Right. So you've talked about, and you've given examples of countries which, in a sense, have become the story. And in many instances, they started off with nothing. You've given the example of Singapore and what Singapore has become today. You've given the example of Emirates Airlines, which started off by leasing planes from Pakistan. And we have your own example. Your companies employ as much as 50,000 people. How important is vision and leadership to this process of becoming successful?
Well, first of all, you have to have a vision. You have to know, you have to have a vision. You have to have a mission. Say, okay, fine. What's my vision? What do I want to be? And it's the same thing with us. A couple of years back, we said, okay, fine, look, we've done very well. Now our revenue was then about $4.5 billion. And we said, okay, fine. So we now have that vision, which we say, okay, fine, by 2030, we should be at about $30 billion, revenue. Having $30 billion revenue, moving from 4.5, it was a Herculean task. But here we have actually created the assets, to take us to that, before even 2030. So you have to have the vision first. When you have the vision, then you have to make sure that, yes, you are committed to that your vision. It's not all about just, no, it will happen like that. No, it's not going to happen like that. It also requires hard work. You have to say, okay, yes, I want to do this X, Y, Z, but I have to really work very hard towards that. I mean, like what we did, you know, I didn't tell you the other time, what we did, we said, okay, fine, you know what, we are going to start manufacturing. But how do you start the manufacturing? Because if I go now and start producing watches and co., the people who are already in that business are going to wait for me, you know, I mean, they will deal with you, it doesn't matter who you are. So we decided that, okay, we'll just do what you call a backward integration. Backward integration means that we'll produce what we used to import. And that is what we did, and that's why we are successful. Because on the marketing side, we already have the customers, we know the market in and out, so that was what we did. So going back to this, we decided that, okay, fine, what do we do? How do we take our company from where we were to this? And then we decided that we're going to build a refinery. We had this vision that, okay, fine, because we tried before in 2007, we bought the local refineries in Nigeria, and then there was change of government from Obasanjo to President Yar'Adua within a few months. And, you know, the government of President Yar'Adua did not really want to cede that control because they believed that the refineries were okay. They can also run them very well, profitably. So the government took over the refineries. We returned back the refineries. We didn't even move in there yet, you know. And then they refunded our money. So we had this dream that, okay, you know what do we do? Because we had, you know, a company that, look, we are making a lot of money. We want to invest that money. So we decided now to roll out a lot of this. And we had about 31 projects, of which the refinery, the petrochemical, these two, they are one. Even the refinery, to show you the power of vision, we said that, okay, fine, what is the largest refinery ever built in the world? The largest refinery ever built in the world was 430,000 barrels a day. We said, okay, fine, we want to build 1.5 times that size that has been built. I mean, I remember I met former Minister of Energy then of Saudi Arabia, Dr. Fale, and he asked me that, well, Aliko Alanda, you want to build a refinery, but let me just advise you, know, refinery is being built by multinationals or sovereign governments. I said, I know, Your Excellency, I'm not here to ask for advice. I've already started building, you know. So we went through this. The biggest challenge of our lives, we did not carry any major EPC contractor. EPC is engineering, procurement, and construction contractors. They are specialized, you know. You have Bechtel from US, you have Saipem from Italy, and a lot of them, you know, about 5 of them, about 5 big ones. We avoided using them, we did not use them. We created our own company for the first time and said that we will be now the EPC contractors. And we were very, very lucky. We have bankers like Professor Orama that believe in our vision, because it is difficult. They would have asked that, no, go and use one of these ones, because we are not known to build this. As we speak today, it is history. We went there, everything was designed to our own. Thank you. Everything was designed to our own. It's not even that. We had also, we said, okay, fine. Apart from the refinery, we have the largest line of polypropylene. So we have finished that one. It's going to roll out by next week. We'll start making polypropylene, about almost 900,000 tons. We have a refinery. The size of the refinery is 650,000 barrels per day. And that is the largest single line that has ever been built in the history of the world. And, you know, I mean, for us, last week was even very good. We had a first customer, Saudi Aramco, bought 180,000 tons of aviation fuel from us, you know, to take to Europe. So we have quite, thank you. We already have signed off, starting next month, we'll be exporting to Asia and the rest of the world polypropylene from the petrochemicals. But today, 90% of our jet fuel goes to US, go to other, Brazil, Argentina, Mexico, Europe. That's why we export our jet fuel. Today, we have also finished 2 years ago our fertilizer company. 40% of our fertilizer company goes to the US. So we produce, urea. Right now we do about 7 ships of 30,000. We ship about 210,000 tons a month, which is mainly, surprisingly, not even all to Africa, majority of it to US and other areas. But that is also the power of dream. It does not actually stop you from growing. It's always better for me now to say, okay, fine, I want to move from 5 feet tall to 6 feet tall. No. If I'm 5 feet tall, I say I want to be 10. You always give yourself. Thank you. You always give yourself a very high target. People who don't have big dreams, they will never make it in life. So you have to. Thank you. You have to really have a very, very big dream. But the only thing is that you have to also chart a course of how do I meet up with this my dream? How do I get it? And you remain very, very focused. You have to be focused and consistent. I always tell people that look. Good living, which means good enjoyment and making it in life, they don't go together. That's what, yes. They don't go together. You have to have some time that you deprive yourself out of enjoying or out of enjoyment, and then you make it in life, and I always say that, some of the problems that we have, which I'm sure is the same, all from Africa, which now sometimes when somebody calculates that, look, I have this business and I'm going to be making $10 million from this business. Before you even start the business, you start spending the income. So you shouldn't do that. As a business, let it be very, very, very strong. When it is very strong and you are doing well, all your friends that normally invite you to these parties and whatever, they will only invite you to the parties when you are doing well. For somebody who is about to declare bankruptcy, nobody will invite you to a party. Nobody really will invite you to a party. So what you need to do is that focus, make sure that you deliver, then you can actually become the darling of your family, the darling of everybody. Right. But without making it, no, I think but what I want you to do also, especially the students that are here, is for you to know that, yes, in life, nothing is impossible. That's why when you come to my office, the first sign you will read is that nothing is impossible. Lazy people don't make it in life at all. If you take life easy, you are not going to make it. If you are very, very serious and you are dedicated to what you are doing, fine, and don't be scared of failure. When you fail, you now go ahead and, try again. You'll make it maybe second time around. So life is all about challenges. Nothing comes easy. Life without challenges is very, very boring. So obviously we too have passed through challenges, and we have surmounted those, challenges. For example, when we were building the refinery and other things, it was during COVID. 2 years or 3 years into the, real construction. We started real construction 2018, erection of the equipment. Then 2020, COVID set in March 2010. So can you imagine having a site with 67,000 people At our site already, luckily, we have built 50,000 rooms for workers. Hospital, recreational, ground, dining rooms, what else? Yeah, water, sanitation, everything we built for 50,000 workers. And that is what really helped us. So we were able to accommodate and lock everybody to continue with work. But can you imagine if these same workers, they were under another EPC, the EPC contractor, just for him to make more money, or the company to make more money, they would have demobilized. Then for you to remobilize, you have to pay with their blood. And that's why we are very, very lucky that we did not use any EPC contractor. So you can also see now the challenges. If I take you through the challenges that we face during the construction, it might be maybe helpful if we have a little bit of time. I can explain to them really what we went through. And, looking at it, then you can now understand that when you are doing business and you face challenges, it doesn't mean that you just go to bed and say, oh my God, let me just die, it's easier. No. You keep going and going and going. I mean, most people really, they don't actually even understand what we actually went through. It's not just you just construct a refinery. If now, for example, you are doing, let me give you an example. When we started, apart from that, we had issues with the land and whatever. Then, when we were ready to go into the land, we realized that 70% of the land was actually all just like Amazon. So had a lot of trees. And you don't go into a land and you cut the trees. It was a swamp. So every tree you have to uproot. And that one we didn't calculate. It took us another 9 months. Then they said that when you read this climate change story, you see that Lagos is one of the cities that will be submerged one of these days. We don't pray so, but it is there. So we now say, okay, fine, we don't want our refinery to be submerged. What do we do? We have to now raise, let me tell you the size. The size is about 30 million square meters. That's the size of our own, this is about 2,800 hectares. It's about 30,000 square meters. And we had to raise this land by 1.5 meters. So it means that we need 65 million tons of sand. We're even a little bit confused at once. And we didn't want to change that land because it was the only alternative that we had, because we were in another land in a nearby state, which the governor held us to ransom for about 3.5 years. He did not allow us to move in. And already we had drawn down from the banks about 2.6 billion, which was in an escrow account. So every minute we were paying interest. But we waited for 3.5 years and we couldn't wait any longer. We had to now go and hire the biggest dredger in the world. We had to hire the second largest and then the 10th largest dredger, in the world. What did we do? Because the area where we are is a fisherman area. Their livelihood is about fishing. Mm-hmm. If you start using it, you disrupt their own livelihood. So we had to go 20 kilometers into the sea, into the Atlantic Sea, pipe and pump all these 65 million tons of sand. And after we finished, now somebody say, okay, well, the rule is that you have to wait for 1 year for it to settle. I said, no, we won't wait for 1 year. What do we do? So they now said that, no, we can go to China. There are some people who do dynamic compaction. And we had to hire them to have this dynamic compaction for us to be able to move before 1 year to press the sand so that it will settle by massive compaction. And that's what we did. Now they say, okay, but the soil is so bad, you have to do piling. You know, and I thought piling wasn't really a difficult thing. We built a head office in Lagos, which is still under construction. We had about 41 or so, no, 41 piles on 18-story building. So, and when they did these numbers, you know, the number, Honorable Prime Minister, came out at 249, almost 250,000 piles. So we have to face that and be able to just, you know, because when somebody asked me, but you guys aren't you tired? I said that no, you know, we're in the middle of the sea. Okay, if we are tired in the same distance, to go back is not an option. But you have to go forward to make sure you get to the promised land. And that is how we did all this, with the support of people like Professor Rama, Afrexim Bank, that actually believe in our dream. If the banks, they didn't, you know, actually believe in our dreams, they would have pulled the plug, we would have lost out, they would have lost out too. But today is a different thing. And, you know, we have already tested what has never ever been designed before, up to about 550,000 barrels a day. And we hope by March, April, we'll be at 650,000.
Okay. Well, I think you've heard it yourself. Nothing is impossible.
Yes.
And I've been to Aliko's office, and the sign is there. Nothing is impossible. And his success is a living proof of that fact, that nothing is impossible. And that's all the more reason why we're honored to have you here.
Prime Minister, if you look at it, even your own as a nation, that's what you're supposed to do. You now go and see, okay, fine, who has created something out of nothing? Then you go back and you read, how do they do it? And you just copy and paste. You might not have the same geographical distance, but if you do that, it is possible. I mean, I was telling somebody that today, when they look at Dubai, some of them, they don't have history of Dubai. In the early 80s in Dubai, they used to actually distribute water with donkeys. Yes? But you can see today, what is it? And then the same thing, the ruler of UAE said that, okay, fine, you know, oil has dominated our economy. What can we do to make sure that oil takes a back seat? They say, okay, they have this vision, and now they're already there. Oil now is only 18% of UAE's economy. Their GDP, the GDP contribution of oil is 18%. And that's what you're supposed to do as a nation.
Fantastic. So there are a lot of people in the audience. I'd like to give them an opportunity to pose questions that they may have to you. So you've heard the wisdom. It's coming from someone who's walked the walk, not just talk. And I really want to obviously say how happy we are to have you here as a living example of the fulfillment of that saying that nothing is impossible. So I don't know who will be the first to jump to a mic. Directors of this, you're going to have to tell us how much time we have. If we need to, if we're running up against the clock, you will
yes,
let me know. But anyone who wants to ask a question, I think there are 2 mics in the audience. Yes, I see people are standing up quickly, so that's good. You just say your name and you proceed to ask. I assume you will not have any questions for me, and they will all be directed to a guest. Thank you.
For those of you who are listening on radio, we wish to now invite you to join us on our online platform, NDC Heartbeat, as the 1 o'clock hour is here. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. Honorable Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell and Mr. Dangote. My question this afternoon is, what are the 3 most important decisions you have made that greatly influence the success of your business?
Okay, thank you very much. The most 3 important decisions that I've made is, number 1, to be an entrepreneur and also be an entrepreneur with integrity. That's number 1. Number 2 is to try and make sure that I take out fear from my mind. Because if you are very, very scared of doing things, you will drop the ball midway. So I made sure that, yes, I'm not scared of doing anything. That is why I have this thing that for the last 40 years, I've had it on my table, which I refuse to remove. Is there nothing is impossible? Because all what I always look at is that, look, most of the things that have actually been done, they are done by what? Human beings. And I'm a human being. The person who has achieved X, Y, Z, he has achieved this. It's not possible. It's not impossible for me to achieve the same thing. The other decision that propelled us to where we are right now is deciding to move into manufacturing, to be an industrialist, because trading did not really take us to anywhere. It has given me the platform of having the capital to move to the next level, which is now industrialization. So these are the three most important decisions that I've taken.
Right, so before we take the next question, I want to just drill down a little. To ask, one, how important is integrity? And two, how do you go about...
No, integrity with hard work.
Integrity with hard work.
Yes.
And how do you go about removing that fear?
The removal of the fear is that, first of all, like what I said, you definitely will look up to somebody. That somebody is not an angel, is a human being like you. So if you can do it, why can't you do it? Quickly, let me tell you a story. The first time our own football team, Nigeria, clashed during World Cup, we went to, I think it was Houston, if I can remember. I can't remember, it's in the US. And we went there, we were so scared because the first team that, we clashed with was Italy. And all of us were very jittery. Actually, some of us, I I don't drink, but some of us that drink, they had to go and charge themselves. They had to go and charge themselves, and now from there, we went to the stadium. We were just going there. We thought Italy was going to actually trash us. But the first goal was Nigeria, scoring against Italy. So from there, now our guys started to play extremely well. Because it has actually removed the fear that, so I can do this. It's possible, it's just like now when you look at it, ourselves as a company, when we built the largest cement, in the world, in one location, 16 million tons. Then we say that, but it's not difficult now to go and build something. But not only building, we want to make a history and build what nobody has ever tried in the world. And we did it.
Very good.
Good afternoon, everyone. So access to capital for startups has always been
I can hear you.
Yeah, could you come closer to the mic?
Access to capital for startups has always been a challenge for founders.
Yeah, keep going as long as we can.
Okay. In your opinion, what are some of the programs that are working in Africa to increase the success rate of new innovation within the startup community?
Well, for a startup, what I keep always saying, for a nation, you must have your local bank, or a bank that their own vision has actually aligned with that of the, local. If you don't have the local bank, even when you have access to capital, will actually be very, very difficult. It has always been. Even as in Nigeria, access to capital has actually been this. But it is by far much better today because our banks are very, very strong. They are very liquid. Their capital has actually, gone up. Not only as a starter, like yourself. You mentioned that as a starter. Even for us, if we don't have banks that do understand and they have the flair of that local stuff, will not be able to, to be where we are. for example, today, I can say that yes, here we are where we are. We have created a big organization. We have a company that this year we expect to do $30 billion of revenue, which I have never ever dreamt in my entire dream or in my life. But it is made possible because of the strong banks that we have backing us. You know, and I said it before, not that I want to embarrass Professor Rama. Without Professor Rama led Afrexim Bank, we will not be where we are today. So really, that bank that you have, even if it's not owned by the locals, you have to make sure that you have a bank that aligns with your own dream and your thinking. You know, because you go to this, I don't want to mention names, but you go to either British banks, American banks, you don't get to anywhere.
Good. Well, we heard it, so
yes,
I will reserve my comments on the banks.
Yes. They will ask you, you know, I mean, by the time they take you through, most likely that your business plan might be obsolete. And that's what it is. You know, I've gone through that too before. They will go through, they will read everything, and then at the end of the day, you know, most likely they must have run a check on you and realized that yes, you have lost your grandfather, you've lost your mother, and then they say, okay, fine, please can you give me their birth certificates? They will ask you for the impossible. So try as much as possible. As a nation, you have to have a local strong bank, or a bank that, you know, you have an alignment between your own vision as a nation and the bank.
All right, so we have Chad. Oh, sorry.
No, we have
my
people
apologies.
there.
I didn't realize we had a separate line.
So, yeah, because of the lights.
Yes,
yeah,
go ahead, please.
There are people there.
Hi,
Yes.
Good afternoon. My name is Damali, and one of the things that struck me while you were speaking about your experience and your growth in business is the fact that you had that family background, and we can appreciate that having prior knowledge in business, it helps. Having family in business, it helps. But as you've grown, within this environment of entrepreneurship, in Nigeria in particular, where everybody is an entrepreneur, as you said, how have you navigated collaborations? Because competition is at the bottom, collaborations are at the top. How have you been able to grow and expand your businesses throughout the years, navigating these sometimes can be tricky collaborations? What are the things that you look for, and how do you proceed?
Thank you. Well, yes, you are right. Competition is there. That's a very good question. How did I navigate to be, where I am? Okay, what we did, there are two things that we believe, which they are still happening today, that we believe that people will challenge us on. First of all is the quality of whatever that we're going to produce. Okay, and we address that through good investment in the machinery that we use. Because we know that whatever business that we're going to do, there are people that have actually been there before us, and they will now, part of the competition, they will try to either use pricing or quality. So we always address these two issues. We address the quality. We also address the issue of pricing. Once you address these two, there's nothing a competition can do to you. You can see that today we are very, very competitive. What we have today, for example, in our own oil refining, we actually say that no, we don't want to produce what Nigeria or African countries are consuming. We want to go to the next mile, which is Euro 5. So the same Euro 5, not only Euro 5, we are even producing winter diesel. But competition is very fierce depending on what business that you are in. We have done that in all our businesses. We've done that in sugar. We fought with the sugar, mafias that we met before we got into that business. We fought with the cement people. Cement, when we started cement, majority of the big cement companies warned all the shipping companies, if anybody that touches Dangote, we will not do business with them. And I had to go to some of the smaller ones who have nothing to lose. And those ones offered and they gave us their service. The big ones realized that these small companies were actually growing, catching up with them. They now later on came to us, and so competition, you have to be very smart. You have to be ahead of your competition if you really want to survive. If you don't get ahead, just think of the worst and say that this is what your own competitor will do, and then you go extra mile, you'll be very successful.
Thank you very much. All right, next question. Go ahead.
All right, good afternoon.
Sorry, Chad, hold on. I was looking at my right, so... Go ahead, Maida.
No, I think it was before her.
Honorable Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell, Mr. Aliko Dangote, government officials, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I am Rihanna Warren, and I am the co-founder of Modish Muse Design Company. We specialize in custom fashion pieces for special occasions and stylish everyday wear. My question has two parts. As a business leader, how do you balance profitability with social impact? And what advice would you give to young female entrepreneurs looking to leave a lasting legacy in business?
Okay, well, lasting legacy business, you have to have a business that is well structured. A business that is well structured, you leave a lasting, and you have to have something on the ground, not money. I keep telling people that there are two types of entrepreneurs. One is a wealthy person, one is a rich man. Okay, so a wealthy person is one that creates wealth and then is shared among people. A rich man will amass wealth and keep it for himself and maybe his immediate family. So if you look at it, I keep telling people now, if I'd sort of decided to be just, having cash, I wouldn't have gone into building, for example, a refinery, to put $20 billion. If I'd put that money into the stock exchange, New York Stock Exchange, maybe my valuation would have been over 100 billion. But when you passed, after your death, nobody is going to talk about, okay, you've died and you left $100 billion. But somebody will now come and see a refinery working with a lot of jobs, direct and indirect, maybe 100,000 jobs. And they will always remember that, yes, there was somebody who took the risk and put his money and built this. So it's always better you do things that people will remember you for. Good things, though. And... so with that, I think if you go now, you open up a factory, if anything happens to you, nobody will come and say, okay, fine, you know what, shut down this tailoring shop or this designer shop. Somebody, one of your kids or whatever, will come up and take over.
All right, good afternoon.
Thank you, Chad. Go ahead, Chad.
Good afternoon, everybody. Chad Fraser from Sonova. We're a technology company. One of the things that we hear a lot of horror stories about people trying to come together to partner on big ideas. You were able to execute on a huge idea, a huge vision. So I wanted to know from you firstly, how important is partnership and coming together and working together? And two, what criteria did you use in finding partners who could align with the vision that you had? to take you to where you are today?
Thank you. That's a very good question. Two questions. Okay. Well, partnership actually depends on the person. Sometimes it works for some people and it does not work for other people. It doesn't work for me. And let me tell you why, because I can't just say that it does not work for me. Partnership, sometimes when you have partnership, sometimes it helps because when you want to do something big, you don't have the capacity you have. But it has also its own downside. I'm sure I have the same experience, or have the same stuff, both Nigeria or here, or Africa and here. Sometimes when you have that partnership, when you want to now call for capital, your own partners might not be ready to do so. They might say that, no, I don't want to go there. They can slow you down from that your dream. That's number one. Number two, you also have, why I also run away from partnership. Sometimes when you have a partner and you might have a different lifestyle, when you have a different lifestyle, then there is the onlookers part of the family, maybe the wife of your partner can say that, wait a minute, John, I think this your partner, he is taking money out of the business. Okay, the fight will not come between you and your partner, but it can come from the family side. Somebody can do, I've seen a lot of partnership that has actually been destroyed, not because the partners disagree, but the second level from the family side, wives or relations, they will come up. Most likely, I might have a very high lifestyle where I want to buy gold wristwatches and whatever to my wife, Hermes bags and co. Then you might not be that person who wants to do that. And what will happen? At the end of the day, your wife will start saying that, hey, look at this guy's wife. Are you sure he's not taking money out of the business? So I know I've seen I've seen a lot of this, and I don't want to really give an example, but it does happen. In some areas, it's good when you go to some countries and they say, okay, fine, why don't you take a partnership? Partnership is good if that your partner, when there is call up capital, the partner will actually put that money down. Okay, because in some countries where I also experience, I don't want to say where, we have local, I think it's the only 1 or 2 countries that we have partnership. And that one is because of regulation. When you call for capital, right, and that your partner does not have the money, you have to carry him along, because it will be very risky for you. First of all, the regulation does not, or the laws don't allow you to operate on your own. So you can see that at the end of the day, you have to carry the entire funding of that business. So you have to be very, very, very careful, and you have to also choose a partner that has, integrity, because there might be issues. If you are a partner, let's say you and somebody, you have a good partnership. You are running a very, very good, this, and then your partner also has, for example, he has a business in a restaurant or in a club. And then they say, okay, yeah, the authorities have gone there, they've buggled, they've went for a search, they found something at your partner. It will affect you. So that's why the integrity, the type of person that you take as a partner must be somebody like you that you can verge on. Otherwise, if you can't, don't take that person as a partner. It doesn't matter what he has.
All right, thank you. We will take 3 more questions and then we will conclude. So go ahead, please.
Good afternoon. My name is Derek Barry.
Can you speak up a bit?
Sorry, Mr. Barry, just speak a little closer to the mic.
Okay. My name is Derek Barry, a small business owner in the countryside. I'm accustomed to when you are invited to a function or to a home that you normally walk with a gift. So I don't know what gift that you walk with for Grenada.
You normally walk with what?
My question is, I listened intently, hoping to hear that some of the rich people, they do have a foundation. And I would like to know if you do, I haven't heard you said any, if you do have a foundation that Grenadians or Grenada might be able to tap into some of your resources.
Thank you. Yes, definitely. Yes, I set up a foundation a very, very long time ago. My foundation dates back to the early 80s. But that time I was just doing it on a personal, scale, where, because I'm a Muslim by religion, and they say that, which I'm sure even in Christianity is the same thing, that you should not allow what your right hand gives, you shouldn't allow the left hand to know. But I know things have actually changed now in the world. People want to know, okay, yes, you have this, but what are you giving back? And, so in 1994, we set up Aliko Dangote Foundation. It was Dangote Foundation. We changed the name a few years back. And this foundation, the same time we actually changed the name, I also did an endowment of $1.25 billion, to the foundation. And we have 70% of our spendings are in Nigeria, 20% in Africa, and then 10% outside, Africa. So we do intervene from time to time, disaster, relief. We do that. We do education. We do mainly health. We do poverty alleviation, and we do also a lot of feeding. So this is what we do really as a foundation. And, we participate in several other countries.
All right, thank you. So, Mr. Barry, Aliko was speaking very softly when he was speaking about his foundation because he's very modest. So I will tell you so that you, in case you missed it, he's donated $1.25 billion to the Aliko Dangote Foundation. So you are, in a sense, pre-shadowing a part of today's proceedings, so you will get a sense of the kinds of things that his foundation does before we conclude. I've been told that we're running out of time, but since there are two people who've been standing there patiently, I will give them the opportunity to ask your questions as quick as possible. So starting with the young lady. Go ahead, please.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Anisha Howard, and I am a proud student of the Anglican High School. My question is, what are some important key factors or advice you would give to young persons in my generation who are willing to go the extra mile to turn their business or businesses into an empire?
Oh, that's good. So are you aspiring to be a businesswoman? Yeah?
Yes, I am.
Yes, okay. So what advice I'm going to give you, just make sure you read very, very well, you excel well, don't play too much in school, make sure that you actually come on top of your class. When you finish school, go ahead and start something that you know very well. And I always advise people that don't do any business that you don't understand. So first of all, you have to do your homework and accept that, okay, I want to go into fashion. If you go into fashion, right, you will make sure that whatever that you are doing, you do understand what you are doing, and you are committed. No play at all. I hope you heard me before. I told you, don't play. Yes, at a spare time, you can now go and play with your friends, but your main focus is that your vision as to what you want to do to achieve life. But can you make it in life, right? You asked me that question, right? When I was your age, my own dream was just when I finished school, I want to work for my father. You must be about what, 10, 11?
I am a 16-year-old student in the
16?
5th form. Yes.
She looks young. It's a Grenadian trait. We look younger than we are.
So, I mean, if you look at it really, I personally believe by the time that it comes to sort of your turn, you're talking about maybe the next 20 years or so, things might have actually changed, in the world. I mean, you being successful, more successful than me, is possible. Don't worry about where you come from and what is your background, whether you are from a rich family or you are from a poor family. And let me also tell you why, because you might think that, yes, I don't know what you have read. Maybe you must have read that I came from a very rich background, right? Is that so?
Yes.
Okay. So I will tell you something so that you will believe. And luckily for me, also it happened. I did not inherit. My father died when I was 8. But I wasn't living with my father because I happened to be the first grandson of my late grandfather. And normally in our tradition, when you have first grandchild or first grandson or granddaughter, the grandparents will take you away to go and live with them. So I happened to be that victim. So my grandfather really took me away. To cut the story short, when my father died, I was 8. And a couple of things sort of happened. My father too was very rich. And, there were a couple of issues, in the family setup or whatever. But I did not, and I repeat, I did not inherit 1 cent from my father. The only asset that I inherited from my father, I gave it away, demolished it, built mosque and Islamic school, and I donated that. But so that's why I always tell people that you don't make money from inheritance money. Just make sure you focus. Your parents' duty is to make sure that they train you to be very, very honest, diligent, well-behaved, and once you graduate, then you'll be on your own. I think later on you pay them back you pay them back through helping them in their old age. But once your parents train you by educating you, they've given you the license to go and try your own luck. And I'm sure for you, the sky is the limit. I mean, you can see now, even during our own time, the last 20 years, we have never, ever seen a human being worth $400 billion. But today we have. Yes. We have Elon Musk. Is worth that much. So it doesn't mean that tomorrow you will not be that same Elon Musk. Have that dream that anything in life is possible. And you have to be on the positive side. You can make it, and it can happen. Thank you. But make sure I do well in school right from now, okay? Good luck.
All right, so we'll have the final question. So let's hear it.
Good afternoon, everybody. His Excellency, President Michel, Mr. Dangote, President Rama, all protocols observed.
Can you talk a bit loud?
Closer to the mic, thanks.
Hello? Great, okay.
Yeah.
My name is Kwekube Diako, Creative Director, Founder, Chocolate Clothes Global. Mr. Dangote actually missed you in Ghana, so I flew all the way to Grenada to come and give you a present. Yeah.
Are you hearing it?
I flew all the way from Ghana to come and meet you.
Sorry, I think if you can just repeat because the audio might be a little.
The audio, yes.
Okay, great. So my name is Kwekube Diako, Creative Director, Founder, Chocolate Clothes Global. We're one of the leading clothing brands in the world from Africa. So I missed Mr. Dangote in Ghana, so I flew all the way here to come and give him a present. Again, for me and on behalf of all the Africans in the diaspora, forgetting Black Panther, I think you are definitely our hero. So I'd like to commend you on that. My question is based on teamwork. Well, they said teamwork makes the dream works. Teamwork makes a dream work. I'm going to guess and assume that you've not built this empire by yourself, but you have a multitude of followers. How have you managed to build the human capital to this point? Because for us and many other businesses like ours, it's our biggest headache. How have you been able to build the Dangote empire with all the different managers, directors? How have you managed that? The hiring and firing, all of that. How have you managed that till now?
Thank you. Well, when you are hiring somebody, you go and hire somebody who is smarter than you. Majority of our workers, they are very, very well trained. We have training, school, various grades. And we also go out there to look for the best talents. And hiring the best talent is key, really, because, machines and code, they don't do things. So you hire the best people and trusted people, and then you also empower them. When you empower them, then you actually don't have to do everything by yourself. But it depends. There are some generals that they give instructions and they sit. But there's also generals that they will say, okay, fine, these are the instructions, but I will lead this war. You follow me. So I have quite a lot of our own people that we have actually, hired, and we have shared the same vision. We just don't come and roll out things. We will debate in-house and then agree that, yes, this is the best way to go. And once we align, we all agree that this is the best way to go. So all of them, they do understand what we are trying to do. They do understand what is the target. And then we all move, together. So that's how we have. But right now, what we do normally, we go to even universities and, do what you call career fair, and then participate, and now pick up people, and now you train them. If you go to now, for example, our lab at the refinery, which is one of the largest labs in the world, actually, all the workers there, all the technicians there in the lab, they are all 100% Nigerians. They have never ever, all of them have actually attended the local universities. They did not school abroad. Some of them have not even been abroad, but I can tell you they can teach anybody to be the best lab technician anywhere in the world. So that's how you actually, you have to have very well-skilled, workforce. Once you have well-skilled workforce, the sky is the limit.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. So the note I have says we've got two distinguished Ghanaians with us, one of whom I think just asked the question. Wood Maya. Wood, are you here? Am I pronouncing it? I would. So Wood's a renowned Ghanaian YouTuber, influencer, vlogger, digital media influencer, and they've flown all the way to be with us. And the second personality from Ghana is Kwaku Bidiako. Did I pronounce it right? Right, you just asked the question. So Kwaku has done fashion for people like Steve Harvey, Idris Elba, Cardi B. He's been named Best Fashion Designer of the Year, 2018 EMY Africa Awards. And for the record, our own ambassador, Orlando Romain, he's been appointed by Frexim Bank as a Creative Africa Advisory Group director. He represents not only Grenada but the OECS. So, Orlando, if you're here, you can shake a hand. And I'm just giving examples of these because the connection between Africa and the Caribbean is something that has been galvanized over the last 2 to 3 years in particular. And later on, we'll have the honor of having the man who's played a seminal role in initiating deeper cooperation, not just on a social, economic, but on a people-to-people level. President Orama of the Afrexim Bank. And I'll give a simple example. We've had a Grenadian student doing her internship at the bank's headquarters in Cairo, Egypt, thanks to President Orama. So, I don't know about you, but if you have not been inspired by Aliko, nothing can inspire you. So, we are about to conclude on this part of the event. I want to thank him immensely. I didn't know he was that funny or that witty, so first of all, I want to thank him for his tremendous sense of wit and humor. Caribbean people like a little laugh and a little joke. So thank you for the immense wisdom, the counsel, particularly to our young people, the enunciation of the need to have vision, and not just vision, but a big vision. And I think particularly for Caribbean people, for island people, the need to have a big vision is absolutely important. If you don't dream big, if you don't have a big vision, then the nothing is impossible mantra will not apply to you.
Yes.
And I think when you've heard him, you've heard his experiences, you heard him say, going home and lie down and sleep and hope that the challenges will be overcome is not going to happen. And when you're in the middle of the ocean, it's the same distance to swim forward as it is to swim back. And so, for all of the entrepreneurs, for all of the business people, for all of the students, government officials in particular, or banks, the cabinet, it starts with us. We are responsible for this country, we are responsible for this nation, and they need to dream big, they need to work hard, maybe play a little less, party a little less, are all some of the things I've heard from him. So I want to thank you immensely for gracing us with your presence.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Grenadians in South Florida will celebrate the 51st anniversary of independence with a sumptuous brunch at the Holy Family Episcopal Church Hall in Miami Gardens on February 16, 2025. Come enjoy a large variety of Grenadian cuisine cooked by our very own chefs. Fish cake, fried fish, cuckoo, roast baked saltfish sauce, tanya logs, stewed pork, roti, pig feet sauce, curry goat, and lots more delicious dishes. So get your tickets now for only $30 from any member of the NDC Florida chapter. Let's celebrate together on February 16th. Holy Family Episcopal Church Hall in Miami Gardens, starting at 1:30 p.m. You would also have a chance to win prizes in one of our many raffles, along with games and other forms of entertainment for your enjoyment. So come celebrate Grenada's 51st independence at our massive brunch on February 16th. Music by DJ Chris. See you there. For more information, call 757-419-0581 or 754-423-7841 or 203-984-8738.
Get ready for a taste of the islands right here in Brooklyn. Join us for the NDC New York chapter's Independence Food Fest fundraiser on Saturday, February 15th from 12 noon to 7 p.m. at 1215 Flatbush Avenue. Bring the whole family and indulge in oil-down and traditional Caribou-style saraka that will transport your taste buds straight to the Caribbean. Enjoy these mouth-watering dishes in a vibrant atmosphere that celebrates our culture and communities. Music by New York's #1 DJ Wondra. Meals are just $25 with drinks and other goodies on sale. It's an afternoon filled with food, fun, and festivities, all for a great cause. For more information, call us at 347-729-5770, 347-279-6668, or 973-462-0596. You can also visit our website at ndcnewyorkchapter.com. Don't miss out on this unforgettable celebration. Mark your calendars for Saturday, February 15th and join us for an incredible day of food, music, and community spirit.
Accelerating a transformed NDC. The NDC will hold its annual convention on March 2nd, 2025, under the theme Accelerating a Transformed NDC at the Happy Hill Secondary School, and this will be followed by a rally at the Bushes playing field. Come out and be inspired by our specially invited guests and our awesome political leader, Dickon Mitchell. It's going to be epic. Gather your family and friends and come out to the Bushes playing field from 5 p.m. on March 2nd, 2025. Grenada is great, and there is greatness in every Grenadian.
Join us for a powerful gathering of women leading change. The NDC Women's Arm invites you to an important general meeting at Bonnet Government School, Bonnet, St. Mark's on Sunday the 16th February at 3:30 p.m. This is your chance to be part of the transformational conversation as we shape the future of Grenada together. We are honoured to welcome Prime Minister, the Honourable Dickon Mitchell, who will share his vision for Grenada and the key initiatives he wants women to champion. Accompanied by government ministers who will provide valuable insights in the progress happening in our communities and how we as women can take the lead in driving impactful change. Your voice matters. Your leadership is needed. Let's come together, strengthen our collective power, and make a difference. Don't miss this opportunity to be part of history in the making. See you there.
It gives us great enthusiasm and deep honor as we present our keynote speaker. From an early age, he demonstrated a natural instinct for business. With just a dream and a loan from his uncle, he founded a trading company in the 1970s focused on commodities like sugar, rice, and cement in Nigeria. As his passion grew, so did his business.
And as a result, in 1992, he entered into the cement industry after recognizing the high demand for cement and the limited local production. Today, that one cement company has expanded into diverse sectors such as petroleum, agriculture, telecommunications, and mining. He has also built a petroleum refinery in Lagos, which is set to become the world's largest single-train refinery, aimed at reducing Nigeria's dependence on imported fuel and stimulating economic growth. His agricultural investments support food security, while his telecommunications company improves internet connectivity across Nigeria. Our research has shown him being a firm believer in generosity. Through his foundation aimed at improving the lives of the less privileged, his charitable impact is felt across the globe, with key focuses on education, healthcare, and poverty alleviation.
Undoubtedly fusing his entrepreneurial talent with a profound commitment to uplifting others.
Our research has also revealed him being a humble servant of his country through his involvement on the boards of the Corporate Council on Africa, the Clinton Global Initiative, and the World Economic Forum. He also coaches the US-Africa Business Center, helping to foster economic ties between Africa and the global stage. Most recently, in September 2024, he convened the African Renaissance Retreat in Kigali, Rwanda, focusing on bringing together thought leaders to shape the future of Africa's economy. His story is far more than one of just triumph.
It is a testament to resilience, vision, and the power of enterprise.
From a young entrepreneur selling rice in the markets of Kano,
to a global business titan shaping industries and transforming lives,
he remains one of the greatest economic architects of our time.
And yet, one thing remains certain.
His story is far from over.
Who better to articulate the theme, embracing a future of development, transformation, and unity, than someone who has exemplified these principles in both business and humanitarianism. Ladies and gentlemen, please join us in welcoming the founder, president, and chief executive of Dangote Industries Limited, Mr. Aliko Dangote.
Thank you very much. The Governor General of Grenada, the Prime Minister of Grenada, the President of the Senate, the Speaker of the National Assembly, the members, the senators that are here with us, the members of the House of Representatives, the ambassadors that are here with us, Professor Benedict Orama, President Chairman, Afrexim Bank, Grenadians, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I'm really delighted to be here today, a special day for people and country of Grenada. I'm particularly honored to be given the opportunity to speak at this momentous occasion, one that commemorates freedom and evokes national pride. I thank His Excellency Prime Minister Deacon Michel for the warm hospitality accorded me since my arrival here in Grenada. I must admit that Grenada feels very much like home. This is perhaps not surprising given Africa's deep historical ties with the Caribbean. These ties are rooted in common heritage that dates back to many centuries. I must also use this opportunity to thank my very good friend and brother, His Excellency Prime Minister Deacon Michel, for his persistence and singular commitment to tell Grenada's story, and for working very hard as Chief Marketing Officer of Grenada. I recall the first time that I met Prime Minister. We met in Bahamas, and when he wasted no time in asking me to please be coming down here. He asked me, the first thing he asked me was, when are you coming to visit? His drive, passion, and vision for a better present and future for Grenada is very infectious, and all is said and done, and Grenada attains its true potential as a nation that punches above its weight. His Excellency Prime Minister Deacon Michel will be remembered for laying the foundation and doing the hard work upon which the new Grenada will be built on. The significance of today's event is not lost on me. As Africans, we rejoice with you and share in your joy. We appreciate the value of independence and the price at which it comes. The journey to freedom for many African nations was long, painful, and hard, and was paid for by our forefathers with blood, sweat, and tears. So Grenada's journey to independence, 51 years as an independent nation, is a remarkable achievement and truly deserving of celebration and stock-taking. While you celebrate the present, you must also take time to reflect on the past and project into the future, the next 50 years. Let us remember the leaders that spearheaded the movement for independence
and how they struggled tirelessly for the right to self-governance. We salute the courage of these heroes, some known and others unknown, as well as every citizen who relied behind this cause. Their collective efforts laid the foundation for the freedom you are now enjoying. We praise their unwavering resolve to break free from the throes of colonialism, to forge their paths and carve out a better future for themselves and their descendants. The Post of Independence. That historic day in 1974 laid the foundation on which you have built a society that has transformed in so many ways, in so many remarkable ways. Over the first 5 decades, you have created a nation of educated citizens, improved healthcare, infrastructure, and social services. In the education and health sectors, you have made notable progress. Today, Grenadian children have access to a better school, and its citizens live healthier and also live longer. I believe the success you have made in these critical human social infrastructures has laid the groundwork for a prosperous and sustainable future for all Grenadians. Your nation has shone brightly on the world stage, and the Grenadian flag lifted very high in the global sporting arena. The success of your athletes has been a source of inspiration to many and a testament to the unbridled potential that resides in your youth. Grenadians at home and abroad have also made commendable strides in music, arts, and literature. As expected, it has not all been smooth sailing. There have been several bumps on the road over the years. From unfortunate political upheavals, turbulence in the economy, and natural disasters, yet you have actually overcome and prevailed, and this now has become a very, very great nation. These are normal occurrences in the journey of a nationhood by any state, but you have displayed great resilience and preserved with heads, hearts, and hands in unity, giving life to the words of your national anthem. Current challenges and opportunities. Grenada, like many nations, faces the challenge of climate change. Rising sea levels threatens the landmass, and the country is also susceptible to devastating impact from natural disasters. The crisis faced by developing island nation states like Grenada place significant strain on their public finances, citizens, and perhaps most impactful, their livelihood. Therefore, it is critical that you continuously ensure you have a seat at the table when matters of balanced and fair economic growth, conservation, and climate change are being discussed, and ways to tackle a menace that you had no hand in creating are being sought after. Despite above challenges, this beautiful nation has extensive areas of ocean space with exclusive rights to sustainably utilize the resources therein. The country could potentially develop a vibrant blue economy to complement its already well-known agricultural economy and production of a wide range of spices. You could also exploit an array of non-mineral-based resources by engaging in activities such as fisheries, aquaculture, marine energy, maritime transportation, marine biotechnology, bioprospecting, etc. These opportunities, if harnessed, would boost revenues, create employment, and improve living standards here in Grenada. Grenada's per capita GPD of 10,463 as at 2023 is significantly higher than the average per capita GDP in sub-Saharan Africa, but it lags behind some of its regional peers. Countries like Barbados and St. Kitts and Nevis have per capita GDP that are double that of Grenada. Allow me, this will massively boost tourism and open up the economy, thus creating jobs and prosperity. People to now come that have visas of other countries. These countries that I mentioned, they are countries that have done all the security checks, so you really don't have to go through the hard work of doing additional security checks. And if you try it, beaches and delicious cuisines and friendly people. I'm regretting that I've already fixed my departure. Discovered Guyana. These countries are not very far from Grenada, and so it is logical to expect that similar discoveries could be made offshore Grenada. It is only a matter of time. I believe that Virgin Islands and Cayman Islands impose no taxes, yet their per capita GDP is several times multiple than that of Grenada, where the company tax is 15% amongst others. The government should actually promote the growth of its private enterprise, as the size of that sector contributes significantly to the economic opportunities and has compounding multiplier effect on the country and its citizens as a whole. Mr. Prime Minister, I want to advise that we should set up a Prime Minister's Investment Council, and by setting up that, you will be advised the best way to make things great out of nothing. Be part of that council if you need me to be. And I'm sure that goes to countries. Small nations have the inherent advantage of being able to unite around a common purpose, work diligently towards actualizing a common goal. And then you have that in your own Prime Minister's leadership. On conclusion, on this Independence Day, let me state that your freedom was not a gift, it was a hard-won, and so it is your responsibility to cherish and guard it jealously. You are the stewards of Grenada's future, so you must press ahead with optimism and a spirit of unity to collectively build a nation your forebears dreamt of.
Ladies and gentlemen, he needs little introduction at this point. In his inaugural speech, he emphasized unity and the importance of collective effort in nation building by highlighting that a nation's success lies in the hands of its people, the architects of the future. And we must embrace new innovations, foster inclusivity, and champion sustainable growth. In just over 2.5 years at the helm of Grenada, he has prioritized education, youth development, climate change, and regional cooperation, emphasizing the critical need for climate action, urging developed nations to honor their commitments to reduce emissions and provide climate financing. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to introduce to you once again Grenada's 9th Prime Minister, the Honorable Deacon Mitchell.
Governor General Dame Cecile Lagrenade, President of the Senate, Dr. Decima Williams, Speaker of the House of Representatives, Mr. Leo Cato, members of Parliament, including the Upper House, the Honorable Senators, and the Lower House, members of the House of Representatives, our Cabinet Secretary, Parliamentary Secretaries, members of the Senior Management Board of the Public Service, our Commissioner of Police and Commissioner of Prisons, members of the Diplomatic Corps, our specially invited guest, our featured speaker, Mr. Aliko Dangote, and Mr. Benedict Urama, President of the Afrexim Bank, all our visiting guests, dignitaries, members of the media, citizens of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. Good evening and happy 51st anniversary of our nationhood. It is indeed an honor to celebrate yet again the anniversary of our nation's birth. We do so after having commemorated our 50th anniversary of independence in grand and spectacular style 1 year ago. And as that amazing memory lingered with us, on the 1st of July 2024, we were hit with a devastating hurricane. But through the resilience of our citizens, through the empathy, the spirit of kindness and volunteerism, and with the remarkable support and partnership of our brothers and sisters, starting first within the OECS and CARICOM, and further appeal from as far as Africa, the Middle East, North, Central, and South America, Europe, and Canada, we have been able to rebound and recover stronger, more united, and more resilient and prepared to face the next 50 years of challenge. The last 50 years have demonstrated that Grenada, despite its size, is a great nation that has the capacity to punch above its weight. And so, I will not speak much longer, but I would leave you with this phrase, and then you will have a show that will speak for itself. Grenada is a great nation. Grenada is a great nation. And there is greatness in each and every one of us. And there is greatness in each and every one of us. Happy 51st anniversary of independence. Long live the great nation of Grenada. Long live the great nation. Long live the great nation of Grenada. Long live the people of Grenada. Thank you very much.
As we embark on the next chapter of our independence, your words reaffirm our commitment to unity, transformation, and national progress.
Alistair, tell me, what do you think about this statement? Leadership is not about being in charge.
Bev, I agree. Leadership is not just about being in charge, but it's about taking care of those who are in your charge. And our Prime Minister, the Honorable Deacon Mitchell, has demonstrated true leadership, and we must be proud.
Ladies and gentlemen, by a lusty round of applause, let us proudly acknowledge the dedication and service of my Prime Minister, your Prime Minister, our Prime Minister, Honorable Deacon Mitchell.
Accelerating a transformed NDC. The NDC will hold its annual convention on March 2nd, 2025, under the theme Accelerating a Transformed NDC at the Happy Hill Secondary School, and this will be followed by a rally at the Bushes playing field. Come out and be inspired by our specially invited guests and our awesome political leader, Deacon Mitchell. It's going to be epic. Gather your family and friends and come out to the Bushes playing field from 5 p.m. on March 2nd, 2025. Grenada is great, and there is greatness in every Grenadian.
Grenadians in South Florida will celebrate the 51st anniversary of independence with a sumptuous brunch at the Holy Family Episcopal Church Hall in Miami Gardens on February 16, 2025. Come enjoy a large variety of Grenadian cuisine cooked by our very own chefs. Fish cake, fried fish, cuckoo, roast baked saltfish sauce, tamia logs, stewed pork, roti, pig feet sauce, curry goat, and lots more delicious dishes. So get your tickets now for only $30 from any member of the NDC Florida chapter. Let's celebrate together on February 16th. Holy Family Episcopal Church Hall in Miami Gardens, starting at 1:30 p.m. You would also have a chance to win prizes in one of our many raffles, along with games and other forms of entertainment for your enjoyment. So come celebrate Grenada's 51st independence at our massive brunch on February 16th. Music by DJ Chris. See you there. For more information, call 757-419-0581 or 754-423-7841 or 203-984-8738.
Get ready for a taste of the islands right here in Brooklyn. Join us for the NDC New York chapter's Independence Food Fest fundraiser on Saturday, February 15th from 12 noon to 7 p.m. at 1215 Flatbush Avenue. Bring the whole family and indulge in oil-down and traditional Caribou-style saraka that will transport your taste buds straight to the Caribbean. Enjoy these mouth-watering dishes in a vibrant atmosphere that celebrates our culture and communities. Music by New York's #1 DJ Wondra. Meals are just $25 with drinks and other goodies on sale. It's an afternoon filled with food, fun, and festivities, all for a great cause. For more information, call us at 347-729-5770, 347-279-6668, or 973-462-0596. You can also visit our website at ndcnewyorkchapter.com. Don't miss out on this unforgettable celebration. Mark your calendars for Saturday, February 15th and join us for an incredible day of food, music, and community spirit.
Join us for a powerful gathering of women leading change. The NDC Women's Arm invites you to an important general meeting at Bonnet Government School, Bonnet, St. Mark's on Sunday the 16th February at 3:30 p.m. This is your chance to be part of the transformational conversation as we shape the future of Grenada together. We are honored to welcome Prime Minister, the Honorable Deacon Mitchell, who will share his vision for Grenada and the key initiatives he wants women to champion. Accompanied by government ministers who will provide valuable insights in the progress happening in our communities and how we as women can take the lead in driving impactful change. Your voice matters. Your leadership is needed. Let's come together, strengthen our collective power, and make a difference. Don't miss this opportunity to be part of history in the making. See you there.
Thank you for being part of the Heartbeat today, and join us again next Sunday when we will have other equally interesting episodes to share with you. Have a great Sunday afternoon. Goodbye.